What's up, ladies and gents? This is Casey Kid, coming at you with another Destiny video. Today, we've got to look at another problem with Destiny, a potential huge problem, something that is becoming bigger by the DLC, bigger by the game, bigger by the raid. And that is the problem that Bungie is having with game design and its hard raids. So if you enjoy this video, go ahead and smack that like button and subscribe to the channel. Now yes, yesterday we had a problem for new players. We were trying to figure out how Bungie can get them to get the exotic shards they need. There's a problem with new players getting exotic gear and then being able to level up this gear. Today, this issue with the hard raid is something that is affecting veteran players, and it's a big problem. Basically, Bungie has this idea where they feel like the only way to make a raid hard is by permadeath. And that is it. That's the crutch, that is the problem, that's something that we're going to talk about in this video. And we've got some good things to talk about, we've got some good points, and some really interesting gameplay at the end that you have to see that'll just really drive home the point. So yes, permadeath in hard raid. This is how you know this is the hard raid. And it started with the Vault of Glass. So in Vault of Glass, whenever it was hard, you couldn't die. In normal, yes, you would get revived after 30 seconds. In hard, you could not die. It was fine, it worked well for the Vault of Glass. Whenever Crota's End came out though, I was wondering, are they going to make Crota's End hard raid hard with permadeath? Because it started off with that Thrall Pit. That Thrall Pit was a horrible barrier of entry to the raid in normal mode. And whenever I was first playing that, I was like, man, there is no way when this comes out as hard that they are going to make it permadeath, because how are people going to get through the pit? And you know what ended up happening? People just started cheesing that first area. They would throw one person with don't touch me's on to run through the pit. They would lamp glitch, they would lamp jump, they would do anything to avoid it. How many people actually completed that first pit with a full 6-person team alive? Chances are not many at all. It was a terrible idea. It didn't fit at all with what was actually going on with the raid. It was just a really bad idea. And that's the problem that we're running into in King's Fall. We've got a huge issue where Bungie wants to make these encounters really dependent on having 6 people alive, or a lot of cooperation. They want all that kind of stuff, except for whenever hard raid comes around, if one person that makes one mistake, it's all over for your entire team of 6 people. And that's not fun. That is not fun at all. The mechanics of cooperating together and doing a raid, it's amazing. That is a ton of fun. What's not fun is having to be super selective about the people you want to raid with, because you need to absolutely rely on those people staying alive the entire encounter. Everybody has to be absolutely perfect, and that is not fun. That actually takes away from the fun of the game. It takes away from the cool mechanics that you're actually putting into the game and making it less fun. Now everybody in here, everybody in this raid group that I'm with has gone through the Vault of Glass a ton of times, has gone through Crota's End a ton of times, and has gone through King's Fall a number of times. In fact, my clan, the members in this group here, they actually Sherpa people through raids all the time. Brand new people. People who have never raided before. In fact, I ended up helping out through one of those on Friday night. So this is a very raid experienced group. As far as just being able to go through all the different encounters, this is a PvE group for sure. And you know what? Despite all of that experience, despite knowing what to do in these encounters, despite having the high enough light levels for sure, despite having the right gear and everything, we didn't end up finishing Oryx last night. We didn't finish Oryx after multiple times through this, and several hours we just quit. Because you know what? This raid was so ridiculously glitchy. So we had to be absolutely perfect every single time. Every single time we were running through this, we had to be perfect, and we had to fight the glitches. We had to fight the glitches that are in this encounter. And trust me, it's not just something made up. You're going to see it at the end of this video. You will absolutely see what I'm talking about. The stuff that we had to deal with. It is insane. So it's completely unfair that we have to be completely perfect in order to do this battle. We have to fight the enemy AI. You have to fight through the game design, you have to fight through permadeath, and you have to fight through the internet connection, lagging, servers, whatever it is. You have to fight through all of that in order to complete this battle. and we just simply couldn't do it. Again, you will absolutely see evidence and proof of that at the end. It is ridiculous. It's also why I do not really like this King's Fall raid, and that's a shame because I think everything leading up to the Oryx battle is really good. It's really leading up to this awesome crescendo of a raid. I think it almost is like it's going to hit home like Vault of Glass does. Oryx comes out from the front of the arena, you're like, yes, this is epic, it looks epic, and the battle is frantic, everything is going on, and that's all cool, except for it just falls on this horrible, horrific note at the end of just glitching and a need for perfection that just really makes this raid just leave this sour taste in your mouth. I can honestly tell you, I think I've gone through the Vaults of Glass hundreds of times, and in this raid, I never even want to finish Oryx. I never want to go through the entire thing, unless it's maybe on normal to help people through. But on hard raid, I honestly, unless it was this challenge mode, I couldn't care less about finishing this raid. I'll jump in, I'll do the War Priest, I'll do Golgoroth, and that's it. I will jump out immediately after. We had a clan member last week, after finishing Golgoroth, he was like, well, do you want to just finish the rest of the raid? Nope, not at all, because this Oryx battle is ridiculous. You can go through the rest of the raid in under an hour. You can get up to Oryx in under an hour. And even if you're playing Oryx perfectly, you might be here for 2 hours just on Oryx's battle alone. And that is just ridiculous. That is not the way that this raid should be. It's just not the way that raids should be. Bungie shouldn't fall on the crux of needing permadeath to make things difficult. Because what happens? You go through, you get one orb, you spend about 7 minutes getting to your first orb, one person dies, and you're like, okay, wipe, restart. You go through the same thing, at the end you're on 3 orbs down maybe. Someone dies, wipe, reset. You do the same thing, you're on the 4th orb, Ogre teleports, something crazy ends up happening, and wipe, reset. Now you've just wasted a whole hour, and you've gotten nowhere because of just random things happening. Either a person making a mistake, because people are humans, they're gonna make mistakes. I make tons of stupid mistakes myself in this game. Sometimes I can recover from it, sometimes I can't. And you know what, that stuff is fine. That's actually playing the game, that's learning a game, that's just experiencing everything. But what's not good is whenever you absolutely need everybody to be perfect, and it stops being a game, it stops being fun, and it feels more like a chore. Now, what we're having right here is there's actually one orb in the middle of that back arena because an ogre teleported. And because that ogre teleported, that kind of got everybody a little bit frantic, and that's why I ended up having to kill that knight, because he was going out of the way just trying to run and eat the orbs. But we ended up recovering, and since we do have everybody alive at this point, after we take care of our final shade and deal the damage to Oryx's chest and everything like that, get back into position, kill all the ogres, we're actually going to have our one extra person go and run and detonate that straggling orb out there, and we'll be fine. We'll be able to take care of this challenge raid. But if we lost somebody, we would be in huge, huge trouble. We would be just screwed. What could we do if we ended up losing somebody? So in order to finish this challenge mode, we need 4 people to go to the ogre pits and detonate the orbs of light. We need our 5th straggler to go get that straggling orb, and our 6th person needs to be in the aura and shoot at Oryx's chest. So we need everybody to be alive just to be able to recover from a glitch that's happening with the ogres. Because yes, sometimes even if you are DPSing them, they can teleport and completely mess you up. But that's not even the best. The best is pretty much getting started right now. You're gonna see it. You're gonna see it as this particular shade ends up ending. Do you see him moving around anywhere? No, he seems to be frozen in place, and he's taking weird damage. Now he's just suddenly gone and somewhere else on the opposite side of the screen, and he dies. Now watch what happens as we're ready to go back to the arena. Are we in the arena yet? There is no shade of Oryx. We are still in here. Oh wait, we're back out now. And somehow I am still inside the ball and taking random damage. So I decided to run out, and whenever I actually turn around, you're gonna see that that black orb is still there. It's still there. So this raid is now just completely glitched, completely broken, and you know what? We are on our 4th run here. We're ready to get our 4th orb, and this is what we have to deal with. You can see the time on the video. We're roughly 10 minutes into this, so we've done the battle. We've been perfect for 10 minutes. We've got everything in place in order to finish the challenge mode, and this is what we're dealing with. This is what we have to deal with, and this was after hours of playing the raid, hours after doing Oryx's challenge mode. This is what is going on in the raid. This is absolutely terrible. Oryx, he's finally slamming, so we're like, okay, let's do this. So here we go, we jump up on here, and the ogres are out, sleeper simulant, and there are actually no platforms for Zilla to jump on. So despite us holding up our end of the bargain and being perfect, we were in a position to overcome at least one glitch, but this was just too much. So to recap, we've got permadeath, plus an encounter that relies on complete teamwork, plus glitches, equals a really, really unfun encounter, something that is just really, really poor. Permadeath is a really poor idea for making things difficult. It's artificial difficulty, just like how Crota's End was artificially difficult by the damage numbers because you weren't leveled up high enough light. You had no ability to be the highest light. This permadeath is a weak excuse for making things difficult. I feel like it needs to go out of the raid. Keep the encounters, keep the team encounters. Find a better way to make things difficult. Don't make permadeath the thing, because with permadeath, we can't overcome all the glitches that are inevitably going to occur. Without permadeath, we probably would have been able to at least make one of the other runs work for us. Anyway, guys and gals, that's my opinion on the hard raid. If you enjoyed this video, smack that like button and subscribe to the channel. Check out these awesome videos. Good luck with your raids, your drops, your Oryx, and I'll see you around in Destiny. Oryx, you bastard.